I hope everyone is having as good of a Saturday as they can have this Saturday. And here in the United States, in most of the states, spring forward. I really wish somebody would just pick a time period and just stick with it and quit switching the time. It's stupid. You don't need to do it anymore. So before I get into my rant, since it's Women's Day and I get to rant, I want to do a mini rant. And it's about my job that I've been at coming on 16 years now. Maybe 17. It's hard to keep track. After all these years of all the struggling all long-timers, we've got some long-timers in the office, have gone through to make sure we get the job done, the administrator of the court has decided that barriers need to be built in between our desks so that we can't talk to each other, because apparently we talk so much we can't keep up with work. Never mind, we've been down 2 judicial specialists for almost 3 months. Never mind that. Never mind, there's triple the amount of number of cops, since I started there. For a city as dinky as Riotville is the nickname for it. It's not Seattle. You don't need 170 cops, but there are 170 cops. So they write triple the number of citations. So there's a lot of extra work. There's a lot of extra people coming in, a lot of extra people calling. It's not because we're talking. And now everyone's demoralized and they're sad and they feel browbeat. And I got so angry in the staff meeting about it yesterday. I already knew about it in advance. A couple of us knew about it in advance. The cubicle plan. But I was raring to go yesterday for the staff meeting for the supervisor to bring this up. Ain't gonna lie, I blew up. I didn't start acting violent or anything like that, but I did turn really super red. I think my ears are still hot. I'm trying to decompress. I've got to go get an eye appointment on Monday. I've got to go get my eyes examined. I don't need any of my blood vessels bugging out of my eyes, so they think I'm having a stroke or something. So that was just my mini rant. So I didn't watch the presidential address, but I've seen bits and snippets of it on the independent news channels on YouTube, and just the people who have a YouTube channel. Disaster. Embarrassing. Borderline Mein Kampf kind of speech. Borderline Hitler kind of speech. And a lot of babbling because it's Donald Trump. And a lot of bootlickers in that crowd. And apparently one of the representatives from the Democrat side had a sign that says, "This is not right," only for some man to snatch it out of her fucking hand. What kind of fucking world? I'll tell you exactly what kind of fucking world. A fucking administration and government that's telling us, you women, we hate you. And we want to control you. Is no more loud and it's so much more loud and clear. Now this is what pissed me off. So, do y'all guys recognize the name Laken Riley? That despite the family's wishes to quit tokenizing her name, the Republicans keep tokenizing her name because bad immigrant killed her. He just happened to be an immigrant. He happened to be a misogynistic pig that got mad she ignored him when he called out to her and killed her. Didn't have anything to do with him being an immigrant, but that's what the Republicans are like. Immigrant, bad. And in the same hand, all these mass deportations and people that don't want to get deported quit coming to work the farms, and now the farms are going to go bankrupt, and these people that voted for Donald Trump are now crying about it and they want fucking sympathy. You're not getting it from me, dog. You voted for this. He said what he was going to do. How many times do I have to repeat it? He said what he was going to do, and he's doing it. So don't cry to us liberals. We don't care. We gotta suffer, but we don't care. FAFO. Anyway, Laken Riley, I'm sure that's a name a lot of you guys have heard. So apparently, whether or not this is a true story doesn't matter for the purpose of this video. Volleyball player Peyton McNabb, who a supposed trans woman volleyball player spiked the ball and cracked her head open with the ball, and she's got brain damage and she can't play anymore. I'm really sorry if that happened to her. Sports come with risks. Every sport. With maybe exception of badminton, but even then you probably could have some bad accident in the net. Every sport comes with a risk. You can get injured. It had nothing to do with the bad trans woman athlete. President Trump putting Peyton McNabb's name in his mouth. And everybody's like, oh, Peyton McNabb can't have a career in volleyball, blah, blah, blah. And I really am sad for her if that's a true story and that's going to be the case, that she can't play volleyball anymore. I don't want anybody to lose their career. However, it's crickets when it comes to everything else that happens to women. And I have my handy little list here. Do you know what the leading cause of death of pregnant women is? Leading cause of death, not desk. The leading cause of death of pregnant women? The fathers. The leading cause of death of pregnant women are the male partners. They murder the pregnant women. Leading cause of death. Does anybody say anything about that on a platform? On the news? In front of a bunch of cameras? No. It's crickets. Chirp, chirp, chirp. There have been 64,000 rape pregnancies since the overturn of Roe v. Wade. 64,000, not 6,400. Not unintended pregnancies. Rape pregnancies. Because men now feel free that they can just go around and rape us. Because they think, yay, these women have been relegated to property again. Let's go around and rape them. If I hadn't seen that statistic 15 times, I might not have believed it, but unfortunately, it's true. Now, globally, not just in the United States, but globally, 50,000 women a year get murdered, and more likely by men than women. More likely men family or men partner. Murdered. And so often it's a murder-suicide. In the United States, out of every 1,000 sexual assaults/rapes, 975 perpetrators walk free. 25% only get past a certain point of the judicial process where they even get prison time. They might not even get to the final hearing. They might get on a deferred sentence and not have to get anything but a slap on the wrist. 25 out of 1,000 only get to step 1. %80 of people with autoimmune diseases are women. That ought to tell you something. Not because of our biology, it's because of the way we have to live. Women that get married, their husbands slowly kill them, if not quickly. It's a true story. I told James, I'm so glad I have a partner, because if I didn't, I would have divorced you 6 months in, because I'm not putting up with all that. I'm not here to be your domestic slave and your sex doll. Not why I'm here. What's that? I can't name the bill that's trying to be passed, where you can't vote if your name is different on your ID than your birth certificate. And most women, when they get married, well, most conservative women, when they get married, change their name to their husband's name. And a lot of people who are transgender change their name from their birth certificate. Or maybe you just don't like your name and you changed it because you rebelled against your conservative, terrible family and went and changed your name. They don't want you to vote. By the way, just for a little bit of levity, I've gotten really into building Legos, and this is my Lego kitten. I'm about to go finish the Lego kitten once I get off this recording. But in closing, I want to read some lyrics from this band. Muse. I meant to look up when this album came out, and I just didn't get around to it. But it was several years ago. And never, ever, ever, before I read you these lyrics, I used to watch what I called the Murder 24/7 channel extensively, and I've kind of fallen off and found other interests. And most of the violence is done by men, and most of the fighting is done by men. But when women do violence and women fight, we are savage. We're savage. And there's only some point to which you can push us before we start throwing the Molotov cocktails and shoving people off cliffs and running over them. There's only so far you can push us, government, before you've pissed us the fuck off. And when you've pissed off women enough, they will burn the world to the ground. I promise you, just push us another inch. You're gonna fuck around and see what happens. You're gonna fucking find out. These lyrics are not just for women, but for all of marginalized. They will not force us. They will stop degrading us. They will not control us. We will be victorious. Have a good one.